Good evening, and welcome back to News Around, the channel that listens to the whispers of the heart amidst the noise of the headlines. We are accustomed to a celebrity culture defined by carefully curated PR statements, denials, and the cold, hard shield of no comment. But occasionally, the armor cracks. Occasionally, a star decides to drop the script and speak with a vulnerability that leaves the entire industry holding its breath. Today, we are focusing on one such moment. A confession that has rippled through the gossip columns not because of a scandal, but because of its raw, undeniable honesty. The spotlight is firmly on the charismatic Emin Gununk. Known for his strength and his guarded privacy, Emin has recently broken his own rules. In a candid statement that has stunned fans and critics alike, he reopened a chapter many thought was closed forever. He spoke of his former co-star, the talented and reserved Ilsu Demisi, with words that felt less like a soundbite and more like a love letter sent into the void. "You still have a place in my heart," he admitted. What drives a man to make such a public declaration years after the fact? Is this a simple memory, or a plea for a second chance? And how will Ilsu, famous for her silence, respond to this emotional earthquake? Tonight, we analyze the unfinished symphony of Emin and Ilsu. Before we dive into this emotional deep end, I have a request. If you appreciate storytelling that values depth over sensation, please hit that subscribe button. And for those who want to support our independent analysis, the join button is your way to help us keep the lights on. Your support is our heartbeat. Now, let's listen to what Emin had to say. The world of celebrity news is buzzing, but for once, it is not about betrayal or conflict. It is about memory. Emin Gununk, who has long maintained a stoic silence regarding his private life, recently became the center of attention during a candid appearance. He did not hide behind metaphors. He did not dodge the question. Instead, he caused a stir with a direct address regarding his colleague and former partner, Ilsu Demisi. His statement was simple, yet devastatingly effective: "You still have a place in my heart." These 8 words have reignited a firestorm of curiosity about their shared past. The famous actor went further, emphasizing that his relationship with Ilsu was not just another line on his resume. He described it as something singular, something that defied the erosion of time. "There are people who, even if they leave your life, never leave your heart," he explained, his voice reportedly thick with emotion. "Ilsu holds a special place for me. It wasn't easy to forget her." This is not the language of a man who has moved on. This is the language of a man who has learned to live with a ghost. It clearly reveals that within Emin's inner world, the story of him and Ilsu is not a closed book, but a chapter left suspended in mid-sentence. To understand the weight of these words, we must rewind the clock. The paths of Emin and Ilsu first crossed a few years ago on the set of the Project Arafta. Even then, the air around them seemed to vibrate at a different frequency. Their on-screen chemistry was electric, but it was the off-screen details that caught the fans' attention: the affectionate interactions between takes, the supportive social media posts, the way they seemed to gravitate toward one another in group photos. At the time, they played the game of ambiguity perfectly. Neither explicitly confirmed the romance rumors, sticking to the standard line that their relationship was purely friendly. However, when they separated and the joint appearances ceased, the silence was deafening. It fueled rumors of an unfinished story, a potential that was cut short before it could fully bloom. Now, years later, Emin's emotional confession confirms what fans suspected all along: that bond was not casual. It was profound. Sources close to the actor whisper that Emin has harbored these feelings for a long time, carrying them in silence until they demanded to be spoken. On the other side of this emotional equation stands Ilsu Demisi. If Emin is the storm, she is the calm. The young actress has built a reputation on her discipline and her fiercely guarded privacy. She focuses on her career, letting her work speak for itself while keeping the doors to her personal life firmly bolted. For now, Ilsu remains silent. She has not posted a cryptic quote, she has not given a rebuttal interview. But Emin's clear and emotional declaration raises a massive question. How can she respond? Can such a public display of affection be ignored? Rumors in the gossip corridors suggest that Ilsu will not be able to ignore these words forever. The pressure for a statement is mounting. However, some gossip columnists argue that her silence is a conscious, powerful decision, a refusal to let her private history become public property. Her past statements, such as "some things happen and concern the heart. There's no need for everyone to know," have resurfaced today, serving as a reminder of her philosophy. This story asks a timeless question: is it brave or reckless to confess your feelings publicly to an ex? Emin has put his heart on the table for the world to see. Do you think he deserves a response, or should the past stay in the past? Pause the video and tell us your thoughts in the comments. We love reading your perspectives. And please, if you are enjoying this video, take a second to like it. It helps us grow. If you want to be an executive producer of our next story, click join. Now, let's look at the industry's reaction. The repercussions of Emin's words have not diminished, even days later. Television programs and digital platforms are analyzing the confession line by line, meticulously examining his facial expressions and tone of voice. The consensus is fascinating. Emin has shared a vulnerable side of himself that makes him seem more real than ever before. His usual strong, controlled, leading man demeanor has been replaced by the sincerity of a man confronting his emotional reality. Sources close to the actor claim that he has consciously preferred solitude in his private life for a long time. It is said that the separation from Ilsu impacted him more deeply than anyone realized. Instead of suppressing the grief, he reportedly decided to accept it, to live with it. He also mentioned in his statement that he is currently single and has not closed his heart to new love. However, the juxtaposition is striking. He is open to new love, yet the old love still occupies the throne. It sparks the inevitable question: is he looking for someone new, or is he looking for her in everyone else? The reaction on social media has been a mirror of the complexity of the situation. Fans are divided. One camp applauds Emin's courage, interpreting his open expression of feelings as a refreshing break from the toxic masculinity often seen in the industry. They see a man brave enough to say, "I miss her." The other camp is more cautious, arguing that Ilsu might feel uncomfortable. They criticize the way private lives are dragged into the public square, suggesting that such confessions should happen over coffee, not over airwaves. Despite this debate, wishes for a reunion between Emin and Ilsu have quickly become a trending topic. The hashtag is alive with hope. The famous actor's words suggest that what happened in the past isn't just a memory, it is an active emotional bond. Some feelings don't fade with time. On the contrary, they grow silently, he is quoted as saying. This challenges the very nature of moving on. Meanwhile, Ilsu's career continues unabated. Regardless of this confession, she has established herself as a powerhouse in the industry. But Emin's words might be the pebble in her shoe, prompting her to reflect and question some of her own past feelings. We are left watching a real-life drama that is more compelling than any script. Emin Gununk has thrown a stone into the lake of the past, and we are just beginning to see the ripples. This confession could open a new door not only to the past but also to the future of both actors. Will Emin's words reignite an unfinished story? Or will they serve as the final, public closure he needed to truly let go? For now, the only certainty is that they will remain in the gossip headlines for a long time. Thank you for joining us on News Around. We will be monitoring this situation closely. If Ilsu breaks her silence, you will hear it here first. Please make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. And to our Join members, thank you for making this channel possible. Until next time, remember, the heart has a memory all its own. Goodbye.